Hey everybody, my name is Danielle and I will be presenting hydrogeomorphological mapping as a tool in groundwater exploration, a summary. I've included the authors as well as the date and the journal so that you can reference this article if anybody wants to use this in their final presentation. This is an overview of the study. The project is a GIS-based cartographic approach for the assessment of groundwater systems. Two examples in this project are a normal groundwater site and a hydromineral site. The study area consists of the city of Alardo and the city of Tuca, which are located near the Garduna mountain systems in central Portugal, when this is located in the Iberian Massif. The project methodology is based on techniques related to remote sensing and hydrogeomorphological mapping, and combined with a hydrogeological inventory of fieldwork and groundwater well features. The methods were based off of the guidelines put in place by international regulating bodies, which are listed on the slide. These include International Society for Rock Mechanics, Geological Society Engineering Group, as well as Committee on Fracture Characterization and Fluid Flow. The data in this project was obtained from the Portuguese Army Geographic Institute, from the former Portuguese Geological Survey, and the aerial imagery was obtained using Landsat and Spot5 imagery. Here's just a regional framework of the study area so you guys can get an idea of the location of the two sites on this mountain range, the slopes, elevations, as well as the fractures and the direction of those fractures on the mountain range. So, to get down to the methodology, this is based off of the weighting and scoring of each of the factors in the study, and these factors have been calculated using the analytical hierarchy process. This is a common method used in a lot of GIS-based studies. It's just pretty common that I've seen in the ones I've researched anyway. The raster files used a grid data structure, and each of the raster cell values is a result of the weighted sum of the input layers. So you have a combination of parameter layers you put into a map, you overlay those maps on top of one another, and this will provide you with a GIS overlay that spatially reflects the index of infiltration potential, and these values will range from 0 to 100. The next slide is a flow chart, so if you want to go back and forth during the presentation to get a better visual, you can. Once these maps have been overlaid, an intermediate map was produced, and then that was overlaid on top of the geomorphological map and the hydrogeological field data inventory. This created a integrated hydrogeomorphological map, which is at the very bottom of the flowchart on the next page. And so once these parameters were set, scored, and the model was created, 3 different scenarios were enacted on both of the sites. Scenario 1 had more of a balanced approach with all of the scoring and weightings of the parameters in the study, whereas Scenario 2 had relative weights for lithology, weathering, tectonic, lineament, and slope, but the slope was increased and the drainage network density was decreased. In Scenario 3, the density of the drainage networks was decreased in the weighting and scoring. So each of the scenarios are slightly different, but should produce a good set of data to understand the groundwater system at each location. This is the results table that was produced, and the table is a breakdown of the different types of hydrogeological formations and the areas at which they will recharge and discharge at both the Alardo and Tuca sites. The main parameters related to the groundwater recharge areas were identified as being moderate to highly weathered granitic rock, moderate to close fracturing, low slope areas at the highest elevations, as well as agricultural and forested areas. This is a significant study because of the different parameters that were involved, which was quite a bit, the fact that they used raster and vector data, as well as the fact that they incorporated real-world ground truth inventory of data, which is just a lot of things that aren't commonly used all in the same study. So they had a very good wide variety of data to make a very comprehensive model of areas that are recharging and discharging the groundwater systems. This method can be applied to multiple different projects within the field and is an impressive feat in general. I hope you guys enjoyed the presentation. Thanks.